Alright folks, welcome back to Wheels and Curls. Appreciate you showing up. Today we're going to take a look at the difference, or at least in collecting, between what Mattel is selling as a collectible car today versus their current cars they have on the shelf versus an original collector. So this car here is an original Hot Wheels from the 60s. That's a 36 Ford Coupe. And over here we have like a 2016, 2017 Ford Bronco with a metal base on it. That's what Mattel used to sell, was all metal base cars. Except this one has like real riders on it. It doesn't roll very well, but it's made to be a collectible. And then over here we have what their current cars are with the plastic bases on them. This is one called Fast Cash. You know, it's got the plastic base on it. I don't know whether you can see that on there or not, but as you can see, it's cheap. And these current cars are just as cheap, made cheaply as possible. I mean, I don't really know how that is going to become a collectible. And we're going to take a look at that real quick. So we're going to open these cars up. Let's open this one up right here and take a look at it. Let's see how that matches up to the original car. So what we have here is a 67 Ford Bronco. It does have a metal body. It's got a metal base. It's got real riders on it. Let's see if we can see it there. And it actually rolls not too bad, considering it's got those rear riders on it. You know, the paint job on this is not too bad. It's enamel. The inside's plastic. It's blue. I think this paint scheme stinks. This is from the Star Wars series. I don't know who fantasizes up these paint jobs for these Star Wars series and other cars that they've been selling, you know, for like Batman and Spider-Man and all those series. They don't come up with a very good paint schemes for these cars. I wish they did. And that's partly why I don't really collect them anymore, at least not these cars. You know, because you walk into Walmart, you see them hanging up on the shelf, and you wonder which ones are collectible and which ones are not, which ones are going to be hot and which ones are not. So let me show you something on these cars right here that is already really pathetic. These wheels, see how these wheels just move? I mean, it's just cheaply made. Very, very cheaply made. I mean, that's undesirable, an undesirable trait, to have something that's just cheap. That's made in Thailand. Overall, this is what they're making today as a collectible car. And maybe it will be. You know, who knows? I can't say I know because I don't, but it's just a guess. But of course, there's tons of Star Wars stuff out there today. So this just adds one more item to the Star Wars collectibles, you know, overall. So let's take a look at this other car. Let's see what kind of shape it's in. Alright, so here's one called Fast Cash. Of course, Hot Wheels has had a few series of cars with, you know, like Funny Money and what have you, which is a 70s era car. This is something called Fast Cash, kind of based on that idea. As you can see, it's got a plastic bottom. It's made in Malaysia. The wheels aren't too bad, I guess. Let's see how it rolls. Supposedly this is for a track. You know, it probably roll pretty good on the track. But looking at it, it's all plastic. It's got a little bit of metal on the sides. Plastic wheels, plastic base. It's just not desirable. I mean, and this is what Mattel's putting out these days. So I don't really know. You know, I wonder if these cars are actually going to be that collectible in the future. I wonder if kids that are playing with these today are going to actually want to buy these in the future. There's so many cars too. I mean, Mattel just puts out what seems like, you know, 100 cars or so every year, year after year after year after year. And these kids' toy boxes at home are just filling up with these cars. I know my kid has well over 200 of cars just like this one. And, you know, I don't see them as that desirable. I mean, there's nothing in his box that I really see as a real desirable car. Now, there's some of the collectible cars that I bought him over the years, the ones that cost $5, like this one. You know, this was $5. This was 94 cents. There are some that's in his box that are actually fairly nice. They actually got some weight to them. They've got big metal bases on them. They're fairly attractable cars, but you know, I don't know how many of those are being moms and dads buy for their, you know, 4-year-old, 5-year-old kid. It's more of adults collecting those, in my opinion. So maybe those will become collectible because they're probably going to keep them in the box. And when Mattel's not making them anymore, they'll actually come of some value. So looking at the $5 cars versus the 94-cent cars, I guess those may become more collectible. So, but this car here, this 94 center, it's just a piece of crap. I mean, it is, I don't even know if that's, yeah, it's a plastic motor. You know, I'm pretty sure that's a plastic motor. It feels like plastic. It might be metal. It's hard to tell. I think it's plastic. But, all right, so let's look at this original, this here 36 Ford Coupe. Now that is got the Spectre Flame paint on it, which is pretty cool. This is from the original Hot Wheels, the original custom Hot Wheels that came out in '67. It's got the little jump seat in the back. I mean, how many Hot Wheels these days have components that open up, doors open, hoods open? Not very many. This has the full metal base. It's got wheels that have springs in them. As you can see, they actually made them real springy. It has, you know, the smaller wheels in front and the larger wheels in the rear. This one's actually not too bad a shape. I have this out of my collection. As you can see, it looks pretty nice. It has 1 or 2 marks on it, I guess. It's not in mint condition, but it's in really, 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 really good condition. It has a mark on the back. I don't know what that mark is. I can't really tell. It doesn't look like, it looks like someone stuck a sticker on it at one time. But anyway, this car, in my opinion, being the original custom series, just feels better in your hand. It looks better. You know, it just blows away the new stuff that Mattel's making today. I wish they would stick with this idea with their new cars, you know, with all metal bodies, you know, all metal bases. You know, as you can see, even the grill is metal on this. You know, so that's pretty nice. Part of the grill is actually made to hold the car to the body, and that's how they kind of designed it. So this is a pretty nice car. I mean, and this is the way they did all their custom cars, their original custom series cars, and well into the 70s. You know, it wasn't until probably, I'm going to say they started in the 90s, early 90s, like 1990 or so, they started putting out really junky cars. I mean, some of them are liable to be collectible in the future. I'm sure some will be, because they made some wild looking animals and other various things like that in the early 90s. I'm sure that some kids are growing up and are going to be looking for those cars. But some of these newer ones, I just don't know. Maybe you can comment down below. Tell me whether you think these new cars are actually going to be collectible, because I really don't have a clue. I mean, I'm from the 60s and 70s. I collect the original cars. I find them as more desirable. I guess in part because, you know, I did grow up with them. But they just have a better feel to them. They look better. They're just a better car. I mean, that's all there is to it. Some of these higher end cars that they're putting out, like this one right here, I think some of those will be a collectible. Tell me what you think. If you're buying those up, let me know. I mean, because I'll buy more of those. I do have some in my collection, but I tend to buy the ones that are like one of 2,500, one of 200, or what have you, through Mattel, so that I know I've got a car that's a low number of production. So, and these ones here, you know, they're just putting out thousands of them. You know, I mean, there's just thousands upon thousands. I know there's some mistake cars out there and some other stuff on these new ones that people, you know, are going for to, you know, make up for the fact that they make thousands of them. But I just don't keep up with that. Maybe I should keep up with that. But anyway, let me know. Let me know what you think, what the difference is, what the collectability is of new versus old. So, all right. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Let me know, and just put your comments down below. If you like it, like and subscribe. All right. Thank you. Bye.